Gather round, bros and bears and everything in between. Grab yourself a snack and some pumpkin spice coffee, because we're going to go on a trip down a little bit of a rabbit hole known as Your Motivation Isn't Doing You Justice. And I know what you're thinking.
How could it possibly be negative to be motivated?
And that's the thing. Motivation is a lot like an erection. You can get it up all the time, but eventually it stops working and you need to start injecting yourself with Viagra. I don't use Viagra yet. Here's how motivation works. Yes, it is beneficial at the start, but every single corpse on Mount Everest was once a highly motivated individual. Your motivation can only get you so far, and if you have to rely on being motivated every single time you try to achieve a goal, you're going to end up failing, because there are going to be so many things that happen that will leech you of your motivation. Let's say you go for a PR and you miss it. Are you still motivated? Let's say that you had a shit day at work, your boss yelled at you, you failed on everything, you got written up, you forgot to eat. Are you still motivated? At the top level, nobody relies on motivation. You don't rely on a crutch to be strong. Motivation ends up being a crutch at the beginning of your lifting career. Any sort of goals that you try to achieve is going to be heavily reliant on your motivation. But as you get further and further, the less reliant you are on your motivation, the higher levels of success you will find. If you have to be motivated to sleep for 8 hours, to eat 8,000 calories a day, 6,000 calories a day, 4,000 calories a day, if you have to be motivated to do nothing all day because that is beneficial for your recovery, then you're missing the point. Motivation is what gets you started. It doesn't get you to the top. What gets you to the top is consistency, making positive habitual habits and not relying on that motivation. Do you have to be motivated to go to bed at 8 o'clock every night so you can wake up at 4? No, that's a habit that you have to build within yourself. Do you have to be motivated to eat every 2.5 hours? No. That's a habit you have to build within yourself. Do you have to be motivated to not go on hikes every single off day that you have? You have to be motivated to sit on your ass and watch TV for 12 hours a day because it's the week before your meet, and if you blow your load going bowling and, stressing your nervous system out and not allowing yourself to recover, you're missing the point. You have to create positive habits, because the more habitual you are with your positive attributes, the higher level of success you will find, because you will be consistently progressing. It could be 1 pound, it could be 2 pounds, it could be 5 pounds, could be 50 pounds. It's a compounding interest of your nervous system, your gains, your goals. Motivation doesn't do that. Your motivation is holding you back. You have to create positive habits if you want to succeed and if you want to achieve any of your goals. Do you think Tom Brady is motivated to eat avocado toast every day? No. Avocado ice cream? That sounds gross. Do you think he made a habit about waking up every morning, stretching, and activating all the muscle groups so that he could play until he's 50? Let that sink in a little bit. Now, what I want you to grasp from this is motivation isn't bad, but it's not necessarily good. If you're reliant on something as trivial as motivation, you're going to be holding yourself back for way longer than you expect. If you have to be motivated every single time that you do something, you're not going to be as consistent as you are if you make it a positive habit. If you habitually, on Mondays, on Wednesdays, on Fridays, if you habitually make yourself go into the gym, whether you want to or not, you're going to feel better. You're going to create that positive habit of training, of being consistent. You're going to progress further than if you have to get hyped, have to be motivated. Look at Ed Cohn. Now, Ed Cohn looked like he was going to fall asleep anytime that he pulled a PR on the platform. Was he motivated? Compare that to Chuck Vogel. Oftentimes people said that Chuck was too hyped and would miss lifts because he was too hyped. And this is basically what it boils down to. Ed Cohn made a habit of winning. Winning is a built habit that you can instill into yourself. Being hyped all the time, yeah, you can win. Chuck Vogel showed that. You can win all the time being hyped. But is it sustainable? Who's the GOAT, Ed Cohn or Chuck Vogel? Now, I'm not saying be demotivated, because being demotivated will suck all the life out of you. You gotta have a little bit of motivation to get yourself started. If you're not motivated at the beginning, you won't be motivated at all, and you're not gonna push yourself. Training partners help with that. I don't personally have training partners because I have been bit in the ass way too many times by training partners who just flake out because they had to be motivated to get in the gym. So when you leave here, after you've liked it, subscribed and commented, I want you to pull out a sheet of paper. You can write a motivational quote, but who cares? You can be a lion all you want, but you won't be the strongest guy in the gym until you actually follow through with what you say. I can say I'm going to be the strongest person ever, but if I don't do anything consistent that will allow me to achieve my goal, then it's not going to happen. What I want you to do is pull that sheet of paper out, write your goals. Once you've done that, break it down into smaller goals. You want a PR at your next meet? Be a little more specific. Should it be a 5-pound PR, 2.5-pound PR? What steps are you going to take to reach that PR? How can you be more consistent? What needs to be more consistent? Does your sleep need to be more consistent? Does your supplement intake have to be more consistent? Does your eating, training, hydration? All these steps are recovery assets that will contribute to whether or not you're successful. You need to prioritize and habitualize these small, they seem small, but they in the big picture, they are the engrossing factors that will contribute to whether or not you are successful at achieving your goals. This isn't 100% lifting related. You want to go graduate from college? What habits do you have to instill in yourself? Studying, sleeping, eating, partying? No. School is not for partying. If you go to school for partying, you're not going to do anything once you get out. You want to go pro in powerlifting. First thing you need to do is, find out where that pro total is. Compare yourself to where that pro total is and break it down. Is the 100, 200 pound jump to that pro total, will that be possible for you? Are you within striking distance? Don't just add 5 pounds here and there, because eventually you'll be squatting 1,000, benching 700, and you got a 315 deadlift going on there, but nobody's going to sneeze at that, right? Find what your goals are. Find the habits that you need to build in order to succeed, because without positive habits, you're going to be spinning your wheels. You're going to be in this cycle of motivation, being highly motivated. I'm going to be the strongest I'm ever going to be. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. No. You need to build a healthy cyclic relationship with your habits in order to succeed. Without that, you're going to fail.